So welcome back. In today's video, we are going to look at a nice concept called constructors. What are constructors in Java? So in the previous video, we saw how to use this keyword, but today we're going to look at constructors. So when I run and I compile this Java demo.java, run and compile, you see that I'm able to access Jen and his age. Jen is here. I'm setting Jen using the set method, and I'm setting her age down here. So I can first come and remove these lines here up. Then I'll remove the setters. I can leave there. So I have my object now without any data. So I'll run and compile this object dot name, give some space, object dot age. There you can see that they are telling us something is wrong, simply because these are still private. I can remove the private keyword. So when I try and compile this, you will see that we haven't set anything, meaning the age has to be null and the name has to be null and the age has to be 0. So today we are going to look at constructors. So what are constructors? Constructors are simply methods that set default values to classes. So this is what I mean. When I compiled this object, the one that I have here, it gave me null and 0. A null value and a 0 value, simply because I haven't set any, or I haven't created any values inside my two variables in my class object, in my class called human. So this I find, or Java users, or in the programming world, we find this more like of a not good habit to use. So they decided to introduce a concept called constructors. So instead of showing a user a null value or a 0 value in this case, you can set default values to this object here. You can set default values. This is what I mean. What I'm meaning is that I will come here down, here up, sorry, here up. Constructors, I repeat again, constructors are simply methods, but they are somehow different to the actual methods. And constructors are used to assign default values to objects. So I'll say public. Now in this case, I'm creating my constructor to be public. So what are some of the rules that govern constructors? Constructors must have the same name as the class they are defined in. In this case, the class that this constructor I'm going to create is inside the human class. And the other second rule is that constructors do not return anything. Constructors simply set default values to classes or to objects. I will come here, say human, being that it is a method. I'll do something like this. Sorry, and remove these two brackets, put them outside, something like this. So I'll say system.out. This is my constructor. Constructor. I'll do something like this. So I can first come clear out this. So how are constructors called? You see here my getters and my getters, these two. I was calling them down here. Bad thing, I removed the code, but I was calling these two methods in order for them to work. But for constructors, immediately after creating this instance of your object, the human object that we created, constructors will automatically be called. No need to come here down and call them like the other methods that we used to do. Constructors are simply called after you creating the instance of that class. Hopefully I'm clear. So when I compile and run, you will see that my constructor here up, this one, is being automatically called, simply because constructors are called immediately after you creating the instance of that class. Hopefully I'm clear. Now we want here I'm still having the null values and the null value and zero and the zero. Now I want to set default values to these two using my constructor that I've created. I can first comment out this, come down here, I say int age is equal to, let me give like 18, then string name is equal to, let me give like again in this case something like this. Automatically this will assign default values to these instances that I have up here. So when I come and compile and run, you'll see that I'm still getting null values. Oh, sorry, simply because this we don't have to assign. We don't have to assign again the data types in the constructors. Sorry. So when I run and compile, you see that now my default values of these instances that I created are gen and the age is 18. So each and every time that we create, each and every time that this instances is running without any values, these two will be our default values. And someone might ask, you would have done it here, up here. You come here and give like default values like 10 and the name, like let me say like John, something like this. No, why I don't advise doing something like this because in Java we have rules that govern programming. This is not the right way to do it. Yeah. So if you want to do this, you simply call your constructor down here. Then you will be able to set default values for your instances that you created. Someone might ask, when we saw how to deal with methods, we saw some nice concepts called method overriding and other things. Can we do the same thing in our constructors, being that we have explained that constructors are also methods? We can also do the same thing, but that will be the next video. Thank you very much.